In the heart of ancient Rome, where brutality was a spectacle and the Christian faith was a punishable offense, a question arises from the dust of history. How did the Apostle John, the beloved disciple of Jesus, survive being plunged into boiling oil? This true story is about an apostle's amazing escape from death and the powerful faith that saved him. Emperor Domitian was the ruler of Rome and was particularly hostile toward certain groups, including Christians. He liked things his way and demanded that everyone worship the Roman gods and treat him like a god too. To Domitian, Christians were a big problem because they only wanted to worship their one God and follow Jesus' teachings, which didn't include bowing down to emperors or statues. In the middle of all this was John, a man who not only followed Jesus, but was also one of his dearest friends. When Jesus was around, John was telling everyone about his love and how he came back to life after dying, a story that gave people a lot of hope and made them pay more attention to John than to Domitian. Seeing that John was winning over the hearts of many, Emperor Domitian felt threatened. He believed that by stopping John, he could maintain his power and halt the spread of Christianity. So, Domitian ordered his soldiers to arrest John and bring him to face the emperor's justice. John was accused of going against the Roman way of life because of his belief in Jesus and for convincing others to do the same. Domitian thought that if he could make John afraid, he could make other Christians afraid too, and they would stop sharing about Jesus. Domitian's plan was to scare John into silence, but as events would unfold, things didn't go quite as the emperor had expected. The day came when John was led out into the heart of Rome, but not for a quiet talk or a simple trial. He was taken to the Colosseum, the massive arena where crowds cheered for battles and blood. The people of Rome loved these games, which were like the biggest and most thrilling sports events, but much scarier and deadlier. This day, the arena was buzzing for a different kind of spectacle. The emperor had promised them something unusual, something they hadn't seen before. Whispers spread through the crowd that a man of great faith was to be tested. Would his God save him from the empire's wrath? As John stood before the enraged emperor and the bloodthirsty crowd, he remained steadfast in his faith, unwavering in his commitment to the teachings of Jesus. Domitian, determined to make an example of the apostle, ordered him to be plunged into a cauldron of boiling oil. The crowd held their breath, anticipating the gruesome end of this man who had dared to defy the emperor's authority. But to their astonishment, John emerged unharmed, his skin untouched by the scalding liquid. The people were stunned, their murmurs of disbelief and wonder filling the arena. This miraculous event not only shook the foundations of Domitian's power, but also ignited a renewed spark of hope and faith among the persecuted Christians. John's unwavering courage and divine protection became a testament to the unwavering power of God, a reminder that even in the face of the empire's wrath, the faithful could find solace and salvation. He stood in the center of the Colosseum, his eyes calm, his heart steady. He wasn't there to fight gladiators or wild beasts. His challenge was to face the emperor's cruel judgment in front of all these people. The Romans were expecting a show. They were curious to see what would happen to this man who dared defy the emperor's orders. The sun beat down on the sand of the arena as John looked up into the stands filled with faces waiting to see if his faith would falter. The soldiers stood ready, and the air was tense with expectation. But what was the emperor's plan? How would he try to break John's spirit and scare the growing group of Christians in Rome? John was about to face a test of his faith, one that would be told and retold for generations. But at this moment, nobody knew just what was in for him, and the question lingered in the air. The gasps of shock and awe from the crowd were deafening, for they had witnessed something truly extraordinary. John stood before them, a living testament to a power greater than any emperor's decree. The crowd, awed by the sight, faced a moment of reckoning. The emperor's countenance darkened with fury and fear, for not only had he failed to break the apostles' resolve, but he had also inadvertently elevated the Christian faith to new heights in the eyes of the people. Seeing that he could not harm John, Domitian had no choice but to change his approach. He ordered John to be taken away, but not to be executed as originally intended. John had, in a way, become a symbol of the Christian faith's resilience, and Domitian wasn't quite sure how to deal with this unexpected outcome. When Domitian didn't know what to do with John, he exiled him to the Isle of Patmos, a place of desolation and exile. Yet for John, it became a sanctuary of divine revelation. In his isolation, removed from the chaos of the world, John found a profound connection with God. The heavens opened to him, and he penned the apocalyptic visions that were revealed to him. Visions of the end times, the final judgment, and the ultimate victory of good over evil. These writings, scribed with the authority of one who had stared into the face of death and emerged untouched, carried a weight of authenticity and urgency. The Book of Revelation, as it would come to be known, was a complex tapestry of prophecy and promise, a source of hope and perseverance for generations of believers to come. In the silence of Patmos, away from the roar of the Colosseum and the malice of the emperor, John's legacy was sealed. He had survived the boiling oil, but more than that, he had transcended the powers of his day, turning an instrument of death into a wellspring of life. The solitude of Patmos did little to quell the Apostle John's influence. If anything, his faith, proven to be unassailable even by boiling oil, became a beacon of resilience. John's survival was recounted among Christian congregations as a tale of divine favor and strength, emboldening those who faced persecution. As the written visions of John circulated, they carried with them the undeniable proof of God's power to protect and inspire. His words, rich with imagery of cosmic battles and future glory, offered comfort to those in the throes of suffering. The Christian message no longer whispered in the catacombs of Rome. It began to be spoken with the confidence of those who had seen their faith withstand the mightiest empire. Let John's story serve as a testament to Jesus. Never doubt in the Lord and keep your faith, even when scared. In churches, art, and the hearts of Christians worldwide, the image of John stepping into a boiling cauldron and emerging unharmed is a powerful symbol of faith's triumph over adversity. This story encourages believers to stand strong in their convictions, knowing that their faith is supported by a God who not only delivers but also sustains them through every challenge. It reminds us that with unwavering faith, we can overcome even the most daunting trials. Thank you for joining us today. Please don't forget to subscribe, and let's embark together on a journey of enlightenment and spiritual growth.